there is sayings that have been around for thousands of years. One of them being, it is always darkest before the dawn. Everybody knows that. Everybody's heard that. And I think most people have experienced it. So the chances of a big breakthrough or a big milestone are in the favor of when you are being tested most, that you're going to come through. Now, I don't know if that's because the universe lines it up that way, or if it just feels that way because you're going through so much hard stuff that when something goes right, it feels really good.
Yeah, right,
you know what I'm saying? So, to answer your question, dude, yes, everybody goes through this, okay? It is not just you. These hard times, these times where you're struggling, these times when you're angry, these times when you're frustrated, these are not exclusive to you. And people who think they're exclusive to them suffer from a massive arrogance problem. They believe that they are the only person that suffers, the only person that has hardship, the only person that has to push through, when in reality, every single achiever that's ever existed, every single thing that's ever been built has been built by somebody who's gone through this process of everything going wrong at some point. And we can look through history at all the amazing people who have done the most amazing things. And right before they did this amazing thing that you know them for, they went through some really hard shit, okay? So the first thing we gotta understand is that you are not the center of the universe. You will go through these tests. These tests will not just come at one point in your life. They will come over and over and over and over again. And after you've matured and been through them enough, you don't panic anymore, okay? And what you can do is to train yourself to become someone who relishes being in the hard shit, because you understand that everybody else quits when things get hard. When things get hard, it is simply this: one foot in front of another, in front of another, in front of another, okay? That is the only way to keep moving forward. It's the only way to continue to progress when things are hard, and it's very simple. But people don't like simple. People like extreme and fun and exciting and these instant gratification, situations. And dude, life is just not like that, okay? Life is hard. Success is hard. Business is hard. Being married is hard. Having a family is hard. Doing anything that anybody would admire is hard, okay? And when things get the hardest, that is the most important time where you have to continue to move forward, putting one foot down in front of another. This is why it's so important to make investments in your mental toughness, in your grit, in your fortitude, in your ability to persevere, in your ability to stay disciplined, because conditions will never be perfect, okay? When we talk about it being freezing cold outside, and I'm talking about how I know that I need to go get acclimated to that because I can feel myself getting soft, that is me recognizing that my mental fortitude is getting rounded off when it needs to be very sharp, okay? So we have to become aware of where we are mentally, and we have to make investments to harden ourselves mentally so that we can prepare for these hard times that come over and over and over and over again. One phase that you are experiencing right now would normally crush a human being, okay? You're going through this process, things get hard, everything in your life seems... Most people quit the first time that happens. Most people look themselves in the mirror and say, oh, well, I guess that's not for me. I'm gonna go just do what everybody else does. And then they quit, okay? And what you have to realize is that if you could build yourself into someone who can work through these things as they come, there's really nothing that can stop you. And the longer you go through them and the more you go through them, the less and less competition there is to the thing that you do. So, work on your mental, focus on keeping your mentality and your mental toughness sharp, recognize when it gets soft, and recognize the importance and the reality of the path that you are on. If you were on a mediocre path and you just wanted to be a regular human, these tests are going to come anyway. They're just going to come disguised as other things, okay? They're gonna look different. They're gonna feel different. You're not gonna be able to pay your electric bill. You're not gonna be able to eat at the places you want. Your ability to attract a mate is gonna be incredibly diminished. Okay, you're going to end up with someone you don't really want to be with. You're going to drive something you don't really want to drive. You're going to be embarrassed of what you did in your life. Those are hard things to deal with. Okay, but if you're going to be an achiever, you're going to deal with different shit. You're going to deal with people laughing at you. You're going to deal with people not believing in you. You're going to deal with people trying to tear you down. You're going to deal with people who, are situations that are just uncomfortable in different ways. All right, so we all go through this. It looks different for everybody, but the bottom line is if we prepare ourselves to go through these things and we expect these things to happen and we know what to do as they come, you end up winning because everybody else can't make it through. Okay, that's what this comes down to. It's very simple.
Everything is war. All of it. Sitting in the commute without losing your patience is war. Trying to find a way to escape your slave job is war. Keeping your wife happy and your children inspired is war. Training to become stronger than before is war. It is all war. And it cannot be avoided. And I'll tell you why it's war. Because war is two opposing sides trying to achieve the same goal. Two opposing sides want the same land or the same influence over X land. And the car you want, the Ferrari, you're not the only person who wants it. The reason it's so expensive is because others people want it. The girl you want, the beautiful woman, everyone wants her. It is war. It is competition. Everything about life as a man is war. It is conflict because you are competing against the other men who want it the same, which is why discipline is such an important thing, which is why you must take the pain and add it to the concoction to become as formidable as possible. Life is war. This idea that you can go through life as a man and avoid war is probably the biggest mistake that most men make, because it is impossible for you to achieve anything significant without war. Running a business is war. Running a hotel, running a restaurant, running an online company, it's war. Training is war. Life as a man is war. You need to wake up and view it exactly as what it is. Everything I want, other people want. Everything I desire, other men are trying to get. This is a war and I must outcompete them. That is the best possible mental model you can have. Even in jail, it was a war for who could stay most calm. A war who could control their mind the best. A war for who could suffer the least. That is war. I was surrounded by people who lost their minds and I refused. It was a battle and I was successful. Life in and of itself as a man is a never-ending struggle and a never-ending battle. It is the constant of the human condition. Because the beauty of life as a man is to be great. So you have to sit here and ask yourself, do you want to be a happy loser that's insignificant? Nobody knows you exist. Women don't respect you. Men don't respect you. Nobody cares if you live or die, but you get to smile all the time. Or do you want to be one of the most important people on the planet with a little bit of stress? I am brilliant because I've decided to be brilliant. And if I have to sacrifice happiness to be brilliant, then that's fine. You know what the great thing about it is? You know it's amazing what God gives, how the whole world becomes full circle? If you stop caring about being happy and you start caring instead about being great, guess what you end up being? Along with great. You end up happy if you forget about happiness and try to become great. You will never be successful if you're concerned about being happy, so forget about it. I like to consider myself a wise old man, and I'm trying my best to encourage and instigate a revolution amongst the youth where men take absolute self-accountability and they believe in themselves and they take responsibility for absolutely everything. As a man, you are most formidable if everything is your fault. If it rains outside and you get wet, that is still your fault. Can you control the rain? No. Could you have brought an umbrella? Yes. You need to blame yourself for all things, the good and the bad.